Hello again, everybody. This is just a short video with little information about how the channel is going to change. First, I want to say I'm going to continue doing the type of videos I'm doing, but I want to add, a new element to the channel and open it up to the subscribers, meaning I'm going to post my contact information. It's already in the About section on the channel on my homepage. I'll also put it in the description here. But if any of you, want your story told on this channel by me, like you want your story out there without you having to go in front of a camera, and if you want like my intuition and insight on your situation, which I'll relate with experience of my own and stories from other abuse victims who spoke to me, that option's going to be available. I also am going to link my PayPal. I would ask that if possible, if you send an email and want a video made on the channel, please give a small donation. I'm a little embarrassed to have to ask that, but truth be told, money's tight right now. I mean, I was dismissed right before September of last year from the fire service, and you guys know that story, at least the outline of it. Couldn't find a job in Virginia. COVID lockdowns were unemployment high. Yeah, so went through my savings, pretty much all of it. Unemployment is all messed up in Virginia. Owed 15 backed weeks. People have a class action suit against Virginia unemployment. It happened to tens of thousands of people. In addition, I was cheated out of my security deposit, even though my landlord said everything looked perfect and she couldn't believe what a neat freak I am, which I am. But because I only gave 2 weeks notice that I was leaving, because I didn't want to take advantage of being able to stay there with the eviction freeze, I did the right thing and said, like, hey, I'm out of money pretty much. I can't pay my rent. And left, and everything was perfect. The owners, the landlord, she was awesome, but the owners, like, you didn't give a month's notice, so you don't get your security deposit. And I told them everything that happened with me at the fire department and everything, and they just didn't care. But that's corporations for you. So I'm starting a new job at the end of the week, which I should have started 3 weeks ago, but you know how employers are. Oh yeah, Bob does the paperwork, and Bob's in Tahiti for 2 weeks because Bob's a rich baby boomer who gets 8 weeks vacation while everybody else gets none. Who types with one finger and makes 6 digits. But Bob's uncle, man, great guy. That's why we hired Bob, because everybody knows that talent, integrity, and all that work ethic is not something of the individual. It's part of your bloodline. So, like I said, if you want your story out there and you want it read on your channel, I found in the past that when I was getting ready to speak up, it was nice to have other people tell my story to begin with. And even now, like on message boards and stuff, it's nice to get the input and the intuition from another INFJ. Obviously, there's other channels that can do this, probably people more qualified than me. But if you want it on this channel because you specifically want the insights and the intuition of another INFJ, another intuitive, going through your story and adding their input and insights, then please send the story in and make a small donation if you can. If you can't and you still want your story out there, send it anyway and I'll get it out. Or if you're not ready to have your story read on the channel, you can just email me and tell me that, it's just between us. If you decide to get your story out, please let me know in the email if you want an email response or a video response. And also, if you want to tell your story anonymously, put that in the email. In fact, put I want to be anonymous in like all caps so there's no chance I can miss it. Because I did this with Ollie Matthews years ago, and it was nice to get other narcissistic abuse victims input on my story. Part of the thing of being an abuse victim is you want validation. You want to know that what happened to you was wrong and that it shouldn't have been done. Not, oh, well, it's the status quo. It's always been that way. So suck it up and do it. It is what it is. Because that's what a boomer will tell you most of the time. A narcissistic one, which, again, it's not all of them, but in my opinion, it's the majority of the generation. I'm not going to tell you that it's 90% like some people do. I am going to tell you that it's at least 51%. I'm comfortable saying that. In the future, hopefully my case will be settled soon, and when that happens, I'm still going to run this channel, but I'll no longer ask for donations to my PayPal. Instead, I'll switch it to, please donate to one of these three charities that I try to support best I can when I can. Instead, and I'll give you guys a little insight into what I hope my future holds. So, as you know, I still want to be a firefighter, but speaking out usually comes at a cost. Because the Good Old Boys is a big network, especially in professions where there's a union, and especially in professions that are usually like multi generations of the same family. And for other reasons, I just want to be in a more progressive country than the United States, because in my opinion, the United States government cares about two types of people: the wealthy, regardless of your background, wealthy, like one percenter, and white middle class baby boomers. Joe Biden all but said that. Joe Biden said in an interview, and it's on YouTube, give me a break. I have no empathy for younger generations. No, no, no. I have no empathy. Give me a break. Yeah. And I'll do another video about, like I said, the narcissism of neoliberalism, and I'll get into both the United States and the United Kingdom on that, because there's a lot of similarities between Reagan and Thatcher, and also Clinton and Blair, and other people too, like Nigel Farage and Donald Trump, or David Duke and Nick Griffin. There's a lot of parallels there. I'll get into that. So there's the information if you want your story told on this channel. My ultimate goal, as I said, is to become a firefighter, most likely either in Ireland or the United Kingdom. And I want to set up a non-profit as well. Friends of mine, we spoke of this months ago before things turned out the way they did for me at the fire department, where we wanted to start a non-profit where firefighters, because position of trust, most people respect firefighters. We're supposed to be pillars of the community, where we would have gone into schools and mentored both victims of bullying and hazing and also the ones doing it, because usually in a lot of cases they're victims themselves, and to try to help bring a better understanding there. I have a slightly different focus for what I hope to establish in the not so distant future. I still want to do that, but given my experience and the experience of others, I want to help extinguish bullying and hazing within the fire service. So that would be, the primary objective of this nonprofit I hope to set up in the not too distant future. Because I find it just abhorrent and enraging that firefighters, the bravest among us, are feeling unsafe in their firehouses just because a small group of good old boys or old boys call the shots, and they're allowed to run roughshod over everybody else, and usually nothing is done about it. So that has to be brought to the surface. That has to be bettered. I wish I could change the world, as most INFJs and ENFJs do, but I figured a realistic goal would try to be to change the fire service and turn it into the true brotherhood and sisterhood that it's supposed to be. So I'm going to cut it here. Again, if you want your story read on the channel, the information will be in the description and also in the About section of my channel. Thanks everybody who takes the time. Please like and subscribe, and please share your story. And everybody, if someone does share their story, everybody in the comments section give input too. Validation is a part of healing.